What is going on, America? As you can see, there is only a one-man show today, so I'm going to sit here a little while, answer some questions. We were going to discuss Keith Olbermann's comments about assassinating Donald Trump and how unhinged the left really is. And, when they talk about comments Trump makes about bloodbaths and all these so called violent comments that Trump likes to make, they turn around and make violent comments at him. But no one bats an eye when they say it. So Marlon, of course, is still out of town. Jay's sick. And yeah. So I'm going to just take some questions because did not want not to show up because we did put out the thumbnail saying that we were going to be here. So I am here, and let's just throw some questions at me. I'm going to see if somebody shows up. Hey, Lynn, how are you? Yeah, it's a crazy world we live in. Hey, Charmed. It's a crazy world we live in, and especially with this political. Hey, Rosie, with this political environment that we're living in now, the left is always showing their true colors. And the thing is, they do it right in front of our face, and it seems like whenever they do something, it's praised. Whenever the right does something similar, it's frowned upon. Hey, Kat. Hey, Wendy. So, yeah, just pay attention to what's going on and call them out on it. Don't be afraid to call these people out because they're all hypocrites. And right now, the talks for Keith Olbermann right now is for him to get banned from Twitter or X and many other social media platforms. How does a sportscaster, I think he was a sports guy, go from, talking about sports to getting into the political realm, bashing the former president, talking about, it happened to Abraham Lincoln. Maybe it should happen to Trump. And then he doubled back and, denied that he meant it like that. He knew exactly what he was saying. And it's not the first time someone talked about doing something and taking the president out. It's happened many times on the left. It happened with Snoop Dogg. It happened with whatever that redhead's name is that held Donald Trump's head. They do it and then they play it off as if it's just acting. We're only acting. No, you know exactly what you're saying. If someone on the right got up there and said the same exact statement, but you replace Trump with Biden, they would run him through the ringer. He'd be canceled. He'd be sitting in front of a Congress right now. Secret Service would be at his door. But these leftists can say these things like this and get away with it. Imagine if a normal citizen, or I'm not going to say normal, your average citizen said something like that. You would have Secret Service knocking on your door, questioning you to why you made that statement. But these guys have qualified immunity. They can just say what they want to say because they have the money, they have the backing, they're backed by the cabal, they're backed by the draconians, they're backed by the elitists, and they can just get out there to say it because they know that they're protected. This is why they say it. We don't say things like that out of fear from repercussions for anything that we say like that. We know what's going to happen to us if we made a statement like that. But these people are showing you that they think they're better than you. They think their freedom of speech is really absolute, even though they say freedom of speech isn't absolute. They have absolute freedom of speech. And they show you every single day. They do it right in front of your face. So hopefully he's held accountable for that statement. If those that they don't know about it, see if I can pull it up here so you guys can actually see if I have it. See what he said. And yeah, tell me your thoughts on it. Tell me what you think. Should this be allowed? And though I am true when I talk about, freedom of speech, but for every action there is a reaction, and there's certain things that you shouldn't say. All right, here's a statement. Now, he did it because he knew he was protected. Ex MSNBC host Keith Olbermann sparked fury on X, saying there's always the hope Trump will be assassinated. So now say it happens. Say it happens. Some lunatic out there takes up and says, "You know what? I'm going to do it." Who's going to be held accountable? Who's going to be held accountable for all if anything happens to Trump? Because the left is causing all this hysteria. You don't hear people on the right calling for violence against the current president or whatever you want to call him, the current actor that's sitting in that office. We're not causing for acts of violence. We understand the position that he's holding. But the left seems to always want to go towards violence and then cry foul if the right does it. Makes no sense to me. So hopefully he's held accountable. Hopefully the Secret Service is knocking on his door. Hopefully he loses his job. And hopefully the media shows us and the people in charge shows us that this won't be tolerated either from the left or the right instead of this one-sided justice, which we see all the time. But yeah, it's crazy times. Marlon, like I said, is still out of town. He's probably watching somewhere. If not, I'll message him. And like I said, I didn't want to come in here and just leave you guys hanging because I know a lot of you guys are, you love the show and we appreciate it. And you take time out of your day to come and watch us. But, there's a lot of moving parts and, I'm working. So there's days that I probably won't be here because I'm still working. Marlon's out of town. Jay Lee's sick. So, yeah, thank you for showing up. Secret Service should definitely pay him a visit. Yeah, the Secret Service should. But do you really think the Secret Service who answers to the Biden administration is going to pay that guy a visit? Probably not. Probably not. If somebody like Alex Jones said it, they'd be ready to arrest that guy. Do you think we are heading into martial law to shut down and have to do mail-in ballots? So there's a possibility for martial law. So my view, the way my conspiracy brain works, because everybody knows I'm, the ultimate conspiracy theorist on the Savage Patriots panel, is I think they're really trying to call something when it comes to this migration. We just recently had a video of a guy, an immigrant, saying to take over people's homes, go squat in them, take their houses because there's laws against removing squatters away from property. And then there's a lot of people saying that if there's a squatter in my property, I'm going to do what I have to do. Since the law won't do anything, I'm going to do what I have to do. And I really think that they're pushing for some type of conflict in these border states and the citizens to implement eventually martial law. Because if it starts one where, that's a shot, if it starts in one place, a shot heard across the world is going to start to continue to hit every state. So I don't really see American citizens per se going at it. I see it being more of when it comes to immigration and patriots, people who are fed up with things that are going on, especially when it came to, Lincoln Riley, not Lincoln, Laken Riley, you know, that's a punch in the face to the American citizens, especially if justice isn't really served, right? So if more and more things like this start happening, I think a lot more citizens are going to take justice in their own hands. And I think that is what would cause some type of civil war. And that would be a reason for them to implement martial law if it happens. But I always tell people, always be aware, make sure your house is always in order. Don't just try to get your house in order because you think something's going to happen. Your home should always be in order. You should always prepare for the worst. Always. Don't just try to prepare. Oh, I heard this is going to happen. Now I'm going to get prepared. You're not the only one that heard that this is going to happen. So you got a million, thousands of other people getting prepared at the same time. You should always be prepared. You should always have at least 3 to 4 weeks of supply, maybe 6 months worth if you had the funding for like that. But I don't know. I think the Democrats are very desperate right now, and they're willing to do anything to keep Donald Trump from getting elected. So if that's to cause something in America, because our government's, known for causing things in our own country to cause something else. So for everything they come up with, they always have a solution. So, I said after Super Tuesday, they were really, really going to start getting desperate because they know that Donald Trump is the nominee. And what other way? They're taking his property. That's not stopping him. They're talking about taking Mar-a-Lago. That's not going to stop him. He's got fined. That's not going to stop him. Indictments. He's still in there. Your average person would have quit by now, throwing all this stuff at him. But they're like, why is this guy still standing? So at some point, they're going to get very desperate. They have to find a way to keep him out of office. And there's many ways to do it. If they start another war, during wartime, the president can stay in office during that transition period. So, I mean, these guys, they're dirty, nasty scoundrels, man. Understand that. And just understand if something does happen to Trump, we all know the truth. The media is going to try to play it off, and then they're going to paint Trump as this great guy. They're going to flip it because now he's out the picture. Now we can paint him as this great person. So just be aware of what's going on. They're going to keep throwing stuff at us, and don't change. Whoever you vote for, you vote for. That's your private vote. I know who I'm voting for, and we've said many times on this show, if we hear some jacked up stuff about the man, he won't get my vote. Truth and justice. That's what I believe in. If you're crooked, if you're corrupt, I don't care if I like you, you won't get my vote. But they have nothing on them, so they're going to continue to come at him any way, shape, or form. Just always be aware because, like I said, things are going to get crazy these next few weeks. Keep your eyes on the sky and be prepared for whatever comes. What else? If something breaks out and a lockdown happens, please remain in your Bible reading and keep your focus on God. Exactly. Yep, that is very true. I say, keep your eye on God, keep your eye on the sky. Just be aware of what's going on. Everything that's happening now isn't by chance. Just know that. This is already written. Already written. Yeah, I mean, Trump is a tough dude for a senior citizen, 70-something years old, and he's taking all these punches. There's a reason, like I said, most your average man would have quit by now. He would have quit. He would have hung it up. He would have like, you know what? I can't take it. It's affecting my family. It's affecting everything. It's affecting my health. But nothing is stopping the man. He's still doing rallies. He's still talking because he knows something. He knows something. If all this stuff was true about Trump, if everything that they're saying about him, every single thing, he would have backed out. But none of it's true. And if someone's lying on you or somebody's telling, making up bull crap about you and you don't stop, that means whatever they're saying about you isn't true. So why would they win with a lie? I live by that. I'm not going to let someone win with a lie. No matter what, and I've been on social media for a long time. I've been taking punches too, and I've thrown some punches. But no matter what they said, it didn't stop me. I'll let them say what they got to say. Add to it if you want to add to it. Add to it. Oh, that's a lie. What else? Add this to it too. Make it better. Make the lie better and feed it to the people. Because I know my truth and Trump knows his truth. That's the thing. They're not going to stop him. What else? Put the link up for Marlon. Yeah, Marlon's he's somewhere else right now, so his connection is a little off, but he has the link. Marlon can jump in anytime he wants if he's there. What else you guys got? Just throw them at me. Let's kill some time. I'm gonna stay for about 30 minutes and call it quits. I just got home from work too, not too long ago. Or my externship. It's still work, but still work. Oh, he is. Hey, Marlon. Yeah, I didn't see him. I'm not really looking at the comments. I should be looking at the comments. Yeah, again, and we really appreciate you guys, and we talk backstage all the time. Everyone in here, we know each other. We know each other's faces and names, at least, or screen names, however you want to say it. And we really appreciate what's going on with Baron. I read something on Baron. I know his birthday just passed. I'm sure. I have to research that. I glanced over something about Baron. It was either this morning or last night. Okay. Aaron Trump. Well, enlighten us. If you had something, just share it. Share it with the crowd. We're here to try to keep people informed the best we can, and we do it through all our other social media platforms. We try to keep people and keep up with things the best we can. And a lot of times it's overwhelming. People, you have to understand that it can be overwhelming because, for me, I run 4 different pages. I run a cooking page, I run the Savage Patriots, I got my Grizzle Grunt page, I help run the Hooch page, and then between my TikToks and, my face, all this, I try to put everything on the same pages. So a lot of times I could miss something. So if you know anything, just shoot it to me and I'll let you know if I've seen it already. Huh. I'll have to look into that. Retro. Baron Trump saying to leave him alone, even Perez Hilton. You know what, Carol? I did think I did see something about them. Someone said something about Baron Trump is 18 now and he's free game. I forget who said it, but yeah, of course they're going to go after his kid. That's what the left does. They can't break the man, so let's break the young man. And if we can break him, we can break the father. But Baron's just like his dad. He's stoic. If you look at him, he's very stoic. No facial expressions. He's very stoic. So I don't think they'll break him either. I think, the Don is training that boy well. Yeah, they're not going to affect Baron Trump. That dude's a genius. Sure, if Nostradamus was somewhere, I read a prophecy of the powerful president. I think there's something about blonde hair will be shot in the head. Everyone will think he's dead, but he's not. Yeah, I've read some of the Nostradamus stuff, and there's a couple other books. Something about Baron Trump. I'll figure out the name of it, and then Donald's name is in it. They talk about Pence. So, and there's a lot of stuff coming out with Nostradamus, but we'll see. I mean, who knows what these people got? But there's also things out there about Donald Trump having a double, and it's not Donald Trump. And I've read something about that they're going to stage that, but it's not him. And yeah, who knows? But we will see when it happens. We'll take the punches as it happens. We just know in our circles, and our circle is a lot bigger than the Savage Patriots. We know the truth. We know what their plan has been, and we know what they plan on doing. And I think Donald Trump knows that too. He's not dumb. Yeah, and then that's another thing it could be, but who knows? I mean, when it comes to these people, this cabal, and there is a cabal, the cabal exists. The cabal has existed for millennial centuries. The cabal isn't something new. It's always been there. Uh they know exactly how the Bible works out. And sometimes you got to look at it as they're kind of playing into it. And some of it is actually happening before our eyes, but some of it they're playing into it. They're actually making these things happen. So they can come in as a savior and say, "Look, I stopped it." So who knows what's up these people's sleeves, but the Simpsons talked about him passing away. I don't know, man. I don't wish death on no one. That's one thing I don't do because I'm a true believer in karma. So I never wish harm or death on someone. even the potato in chief. Yes, the devil does know the Bible very well. Very well. What is so special about the particular eclipse? So with the eclipse, uh, with the eclipse on April 8th is what you're talking about. There, there's so much information out there about it. So the the totality of the eclipse is supposed to cross in a certain state, and it starts with an N. I have the information. I have to research it again, but they're saying this eclipse happened with a timeline around the same time as the plague during the Egyptian, where the plague hit the Egyptian and all that stuff. So I don't want to speak too much about it because I'm not an expert in it, but I have looked into it. I have read about it. But it's supposed to be something very biblical and spiritual. So if you're within a spiritual community in the spiritual realm, it's supposed to be part of the Great Awakening. And there's supposed to be a solar flash and a lot. So I'm not going to sit up here and speak like an expert on it. I read it, I look at it, but I can't really speak as an expert. But I will say this: they do talk about the 3 days of darkness happening at that time. And we've heard the 3 days of darkness at many, many, many times. But for this one, there's a lot more people talking about the 3 days of darkness. So, and the time frame it's happening, you know, when it comes to when they talk about the crucifixion of Christ, uh, it's happening around that time. And then there was something with Easter lands on a day, but Easter's landing the day. It's so much information out there. Everything is just off. So I don't know. I'll look into it and I'll post something about it if you follow me on social media. I'll look more into it so I can give you a better answer. But whatever's out there, the eclipse is going to happen April 8th. I know a lot of schools are shutting down in the areas where the eclipse is crossing. The one from 2017 went from west to southeast. This one is coming from southwest to northeast. So it forms a cross, and they're saying that cross is very significant. So, and where that cross is formed, that's where a lot of the schools are getting closed down. The National Guard is getting called into these areas. So there's something big happening that they're not telling us about. But like I said, I'm not an expert on it. All I can do is read it and share the information that I find. So I'll try to find some information, share it on my TikTok, my Facebook. I'll share it on the Savage Patriots. Wherever you follow me, I'll look for something and I will share it. Yes, I'm going solo this evening. A lot of people had stuff going on, and I know the show was planned, so I didn't want to just leave people hanging and not show up. So, numerology, we're subtracting numbers, but they came up with 666. Yeah, I've heard about that, the numbers, and there's so much when it comes to like the calendar and numbers and numerology and spirituality and religion. It's just everyone has a theory on it. And a lot of the spiritualists and the Christians, their theories kind of matching up. They just talk about it differently, but it is, it's almost the same. It's almost exactly the same. But, even when it comes to the calendar, like, everyone knows that we're actually supposed to be in a 13-month calendar. They removed 1 month and it kind of just threw the whole timeline off. So, like I said, it's kind of hard to judge dates and times because in the Bible it says you will not know the day or the time, but there will be signs. So there are signs, but we still don't know the day and the time. of it happening, but there are signs. Yes, and if I'm looking down, I'm not looking. I'm reading the comments. Yeah, schools are going to be closed that day. I don't know the exact time. I know you can look at the exact time on when it's supposed to cross over the United States. The names of the cities that it crosses in each state, they're very like biblical names. I think Neva. There's Neva, Texas. Neva. You'll have to look it up. I might be misquoting the actual name. I wasn't ready for this. I wish I would have known you guys were asking these questions. I would have prepared. Yes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so ATX Patriot said 1:30 Central Time. So based off where you're at, that'd be 11:30 where I'm at, 11:30 on the West Coast, and then whatever the East Coast is 3 hours ahead of me. So 2 hours ahead of Central. Yep, there you go. So Jonah, exactly right. Related to Jonah with the great whale. What did I read about that? I read something about Jonah. Oh, I can't think right now because I was just reading something on it and I watched something on it the day before yesterday. I watched something on Jonah and the time, how everything's adding up. But we'll just know that that date is very important, whether you believe in it or not. Always take these solar eclipses very seriously. You know, I would, because like I said, you don't want to not be prepared and something happens, you know, or be prepared and nothing happens. I'd rather just be prepared and nothing happens than not be prepared and something does happen. Then I'm sitting here drinking water and eating salt, you know. So just prepare your home. Make sure your home is in order. Make sure your spirit's in order. You know, your spirit should always be in order, but just make sure you get right. If anything, get right. My cooking platform. So I have one on Facebook. I used to have a YouTube channel. I haven't really posted on it in a long time. But if you go to my Facebook page, it's called the Bro Kitchen. I think. Like I said, I have so many pages. Yeah, it's the Bro Kitchen on Facebook, and there, so that page was created. So I share a lot of my cooking stuff. I haven't started sharing recipes yet. Every once in a while, I'll share something that I find interesting, recipe wise. But it's there for a place for people to highlight their own culinary skills and share, you know, what they cook with photos, recipes, however you want to do it. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be baking. It could be whatever you make on a culinary in a culinary realm. Water and canned goods. Yep. You're welcome, Robin. Yep. So Neva, there you go. Crazy days. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. So yeah, again, I'd like to thank you guys, man. Thank you guys for always being here and showing up. And whether you follow the Hooch, Savage Patriots, Straight Talk, Marlon's other platforms, we really appreciate it because you know, we love sharing information and we love keeping people informed and enlightened what's going on. Because even though, you know, a lot of the information that we talk about is just, it's out there, common information. There's a lot of people that don't follow it and a lot of people that don't pay attention to that stuff. So we'd like to be the ones to inform people and give our own perspective on things that's happening, you know, in the world. And here is Coy.
Yo, yo.
Yeah, man, we're already 30 minutes in. We just been chatting.
Yeah, sorry about that. I've been trying to reset my sleep schedule and it's not been fun. It's
Yeah,
not been fun.
I get
So
it.
like I'd been almost up for 2 days straight and then crashed.
It's not good. You need more water and more vitamin, or not vitamins, minerals. There's something in your diet that's causing that. You know, I go to bed every night around 10 o'clock every morning I wake up between 6 o'clock and 7 a.m. without an alarm clock. Boom, I'm awake. No lie,
Yeah.
I'm awake. And then I take a lot of minerals.
No.
I take Irish moss. I take lion's mane. I take nad. I take turmeric. I take a lot of that stuff. Then I drink hydrogen water. No joke. And then I'll drink the hydrogen water before I go to bed. And I'll take one of my Irish sea moss. And then I'll knock out. And then I'll wake up in the morning, do the same thing. And my whole
Mm.
routine is always the same every morning. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So since you're here the last 30 minutes, I know Marlon's in the house. He's watching. Keith Olbermann, man, what do you think?
He's an insane leftist. I don't know what to tell you. Like he's one of those people. If the right has QAnon, then Keith Olbermann is Blue Anon. Like, let's go
Yeah.
with that. Like we're talking about like kind of off the wall people that exist, and that's what it would be.
Yeah.
Whether you believe it or not. But like this dude's nuts.
Yeah. So to catch you up, we did discuss how the left, they can say stuff like this and there's no accountability. And we showed it
Yeah.
before with all these other celebrities doing the same exact thing, wishing death, calling for assassination. And I sent some videos to the group chat where it was a collage of the leftists and their violent talk. And no one bats an eye at that. They actually, these politicians actually discuss committing acts of violence, and no one cares.
Yeah, when would they ever care about committing acts of violence? That's kind of their MO, like blaming on everybody else,
Yeah.
So this is the one you're talking about with Nancy Pelosi showing up first?
Yes. I'll bring it up.
Okay.
Let's get some. Which one is it? This one. Yeah.
There you go.
No volume.
Yeah, that's as high as it goes.
Oh, we can't hear it. Huh. That's weird. Well, this is just a collage of them talking about committing acts of violence. Get in their face. And we've all heard these statements. You need to get in their face. You need to make them uncomfortable. You need to do this, that, and the other. And you see how the left, they take something like that and they end up bashing people over the head. They end up burning down buildings. They end up setting the cars on fire. They end up just going overboard with the amount of violence that they're willing to commit because these people said so. Yeah, it's a crazy world, man. Keith Olbermann, there was another clip of him talking about, he mentioned death as one I sent. He's like no, not that. That's the thumbnail. You'll see him. Yeah. That's the thumbnail.
Yep, just give me a second. I gotta switch screens. Is it that one right there or the other one? Hang on. Should be that one.
Not that one. That one.
Okay.
So this one, of course, Keith Olbermann is just he's a typical talking head.
Yep.
Why can't we hear it? Can you guys hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't hear anything. Yes, he's an insane one.
Yeah, so that's definitely like kind of that, like I said, the Blue Anon situation there.
Yeah, they're saying no sound. I don't know why there's no sound. We're having technical difficulties somewhere.
Yeah.
But
okay.
because you can hear
but
it.
they could. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear it, but they can't hear it.
they
Okay.
couldn't hear it.
All right, let's do this another way then.
Yeah, and this is the same guy after he was called out on X, all the other social media platforms, Daily Mail called him out, Fox News called him out, all of X was calling this guy out. He double backed and pretty much denied that he meant that.
Yep. I'm gonna play it again, see if you can hear it.
Okay.
Let me know.
No.
No. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Apparently, it doesn't like to do it unless it's like in the web browser media source. So
Oh.
I don't know what's up with that. It's
I
fun,
don't know.
fun time. But it's usually worked before. We've done it before.
Yeah, we've done it many times before.
Yeah.
Stand by.
All right. Here we go. That's what it was. Okay. It just wasn't ticked off. That's the reason why.
All right, sorry.
Oh, never mind.
No.
No.
Hey.
I'll just have to find. I'll just have to find a web source for it.
Yeah, if it's out there, but these are the same people that if Donald Trump wins, you have to understand these people. If there's an election in 2024, Donald Trump wins, which if there is one, he will win in a landslide. Since they can't cheat, it's going to be very hard for them to cheat. They will commit acts of violence to disrupt the country. They will throw a temper tantrum like they did in 2020. That was just a taste of what they're going to do. This one, 2024, if he wins, it's going to be hell.
So apparently they already took down the tweet on,
of course,
on X as for violating rules. But for those of you who don't actually know, you can bring up the article. I was going to read it out.
Mm-hmm.
Is that he was responding to Trump saying that he's been treating worse than Lincoln, who was assassinated. The Biden campaign account posted on Sunday. And he responded, "There's always hope." I mean, that's what it really stems down to, is how the Democrats feel about Donald Trump, is that they've done everything in their power except assassinate him. So I would say, like, yeah, he's kind of been treated worse than Lincoln in that regard, is because they've done everything in their power to destroy his life. I mean, you got to look at what they're doing in New York right now. They have over $400 million of a bond, which is nobody in their right mind can be able to pay. Nobody has that much cash on hand to pay. Nobody. Mm-hmm. No billionaire, no rich person, nobody has $400 million in cash. Like, you would be stupid to have that much money in cash.
And what there's a constitutional amendment that talks about that. Mm-hmm. Is it the 8th? Where it says pretty much you can't give a bond that is unjust. You know, you can't tell Coy you got to pay a $80,000 bond in cash when they know you don't have that amount of cash. So I think, it's very unconstitutional, and these are the tactics that they'll use, but like I said, they're gonna do anything they can to disrupt this man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is the 8th. It's the 8th Amendment. I was right.
Yeah, punishments.
Yeah, cruel, unusual punishment.
I don't think, like, yeah, you're right. Okay, so here, let's bring it up since we're talking about it.
So understand with the 8th Amendment what they're doing to Donald Trump, regardless of his billionaire status, regardless of all the money he has, a cash bond. Who has that amount of cash just lying around? Where you got briefcases and pallets full of cash just lying around? No one does. Except
it's right there. The 8th Amendment says excessive bail should not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments affected. I would say paying $400 billion or $1 million in a bond is ridiculous. Yeah. Because no person in their right mind could afford that. Like, it's maybe a couple of $1 million, maybe up to maybe 10, I would say. But even that is hard. Most people don't keep that much liquid cash on hand, especially if you're like, just because they're rich doesn't mean they're rich. You know what I mean? They don't have
Yeah.
cash rich.
Yeah, that's true. They have equity rich,
Yeah. I got
and
stocks and
yeah,
bonds
stocks,
and other
equity,
things.
properties. That what makes them rich. But
Yeah.
I've never heard of anyone, I don't know, since I've been alive, having a bond that high ever. I don't know if it
No.
happened in the
Nobody
history of our
has.
country. Yeah.
Let's
And
find out though. That's a good question.
yeah, and then on top of that, they're taking all his properties, they're taking Mar-Lago, they're doing all this stuff, and all of this is just to disrupt his campaign. I hope some millionaire buys Mar-a-Lago and just gives it to Trump as a gift. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because
But
they know
nobody's going to.
yeah, but they know they can pay him back. Him like, man, I'm gonna buy Elon Musk. If you're listening, buy Mar-Lago and then give it back to Trump as a gift. You know he's good for it. You know he's going to give it back to you, or give it to his kids. Give it to Barron. Give it to Barron Trump as a gift.
Okay,
It's
so
crazy.
it's not the worst. It's up there though. It's in the top 5 for sure.
What is the top?
So here I'll bring it up now.
Mhm.
It'll actually surprise you, which I think even these are probably unconstitutional, but they allowed them anyway. I got
Wow.
a couple of different there's a couple of different sources from it. So here's one. The first one is they're foreign nationals on a couple of them. So one of them was for $100 million for Rajmatanam. How do you pronounce his name?
Hindu.
What was he? It was in 2009. New York judge set bail of $100 million for Raj and the Galleon Group founder accused of insider stock trading. Okay, and indicted in a couple of counts of conspiracy and securities fraud. And his hedge fund was valued at 1.7 billion at the time. So that's one of them. The next one is a Tennessee judge set a bail for 100 million after Christopher Williams was arrested and charged with string of felonies, including attempted murder, second degree carjacking, aggravated robbery, and use of firearm and commission of a felony.
And what was his bond set at?
100 million. Usually, the unusually high bail amount took into account the violent nature of the accused offenses and his prior history of skipping bail. That was the reason why. So it wasn't intentionally. It was made intentionally that high to not be able to be paid. That's what they're doing in that. So, and then for Kenning Ma, it was 150 million. In 2010, the California judge set the bail for 150 million for Ma, who, along with his wife Shirley Shi, was accused of knowingly importing and selling motorcycles and ATVs that did not pass U.S. emission standards. Really?
Oh, wow.
Really?
Whoa.
That's all they did?
That's it?
It didn't meet the emission standards of California, so they got a $150 million bond placed on them. That's stupid.
Yeah.
The indictment included charges of conspiracy and grand theft. Okay, see, that makes more sense. You should have led with that, with the grand theft part and the money laundering. And G's bail was set with 75 million. So the next one is for $1 billion. See, these are the two highest. So he's in the top 3 of highest bails ever put to a person, right? So in 2005, the Ohio judge set a bail of $1 million for defendant Kim Freeman, who was charged with owning and operating a brothel.
Oh my God! That for how much?
Though the crime is $1 billion. Though the crime itself was non-violent, the prosecution had argued that Freeman's ties to Asia made her a significant flight risk, and so that's why they did it. It's like, we don't want her to leave, so we just put like a huge bond on them, and that'll be fine. So the largest is $3 billion, and the wealthy New York real estate Robert Durst holds a record of the highest bail amount set in the United States with a stunning $3 billion. He was accused in 2003 of murdering his wife. That would make sense.
Yes.
So they're putting Donald Trump with a fraud that wasn't a fraud in the top 3 highest bail counts in U.S. history. When one, he didn't do any of these with grand theft auto, money laundering, and any of these, right? Or owning the brothel. Right?
No.
He's in between owning a brothel, and like a bunch of fraud for stealing motorcycles and ATVs. That's where he's at. Right?
nonviolent crime, and he didn't even commit a crime for one.
He didn't commit a crime. The
There was
judge
no crime.
ceremoniously said he committed a crime according to his opinion, not
Yes.
according to the facts or the case or the jury of his peers. A judge summarily ruled that he did commit fraud in his opinion. That's all it was. The prosecution brought charges to him in a civil case. By the way, it's a civil case, not a criminal case, a civil case. Brought it to them and said, hey, we think he committed this fraud. And the judge said, okay. And that was it. And then he hit the hammer, gavelled it, and then that was it.
I personally don't think they're going to get Mar-a-Lago. I don't think that's going to fly.
No, they're going to take his New York buildings first. Mar-a-Lago will be the last thing they take from him.
Well, how can a judge in New York confiscate property in Florida?
So because it's part of his holdings, and it has been adjudicated that he owes the state of New York a certain amount of money, and anything related to Donald Trump on his name is therefore subject to confiscation to pay back that bond or whatever amount that is owed. Doesn't matter which state it's in. Now, the state of Florida could fight it, but I doubt that'll happen.
I don't know, man. DeSantis might fight it because Florida's Trump land, and it's all politics. If DeSantis wants to get reelected, he best fight that.
DeSantis is already out. He can't get reelected. He's done with his terms.
Oh, he is. Oh,
yeah. That was one of the reasons why, like, he has to do something else after this. That's why he was trying to get the presidency. Is that he's already at his limit. He's at his term limit.
Oh, well,
as Florida governor, he can't get reelected.
Well, hopefully, someone buys it that has a lot of money, but hopefully, it doesn't happen because I know he's trying to fight it. But
it's just the point of how unjust and unfair the whole thing is. Like you said, it breaks the 8th Amendment of being an unjust and unlawful amount of bond, because if you knowingly set a bond that somebody has the impossibility of paying, then that doesn't make sense. It's not right. That's not legally right. You shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. They're trying anything and everything in their power. And I was discussing earlier how these radical leftist communists are desperate. They're very desperate right now, and they're going to do anything and everything to keep Donald Trump out of office. Because if they don't stop him now and the election happens, it's inevitable. They already know he's going to win. Hands down. Biden is not even going to be close. They can't steal it because now people are paying attention to that. They're not going to allow them to steal it. So they're going to try something to keep either the election from happening, like we've discussed on this show many times, or they're planning on doing something to the man himself. So one of those two things. Something crazy is going to happen between now and the election. And if the election happens, if we've said it many times, something is going to happen. They can't have this election happen. Can't hear you.
You just realized I was on mute. Yeah, the cancer thing is something that needs to be looked at. And then here's the original tweet from Keith Olbermann, because the internet is forever.
Yes, it always is.
There is always hope, when he was referring to that. So, like, just being able to see it in your own words is kind of... Oh, and then you remember him getting the shot for the cameras.
Yeah,
that was always fun. He'll listen.
Coddling the people who won't get the shot. Booster shot. Mission accomplished.
Good for you.
It is. It is time to stop coddling them, the ones who won't get the damn shot already. And our first step, you and
Okay, in hindsight, being 2020, who was right?
We were all
right.
We were all right. And the people like Keith Olbermann, even back then, I was very voiceful about being against the vaccine. Make me get it.
We gotta coddle these people.
Physically make me get the shot. You won't. You're just all talk, dude. You're not gonna do anything. So yeah, he's just all talk. And the minute he's gonna cross the right person, man. He's going to cross the right person. And, you know, the populace is getting sick of these propagandists that call themselves journalists. They're not
It's
journalists.
like the perfect photo.
Yeah, they're not journalists. They're propagandists. They're like agents, secret agents who are disguising or acting as, you know, journalists who get up there and spread all this propaganda, and it's used to get people to do things because he's not going to do it himself. If you want something to happen and you hope for something to happen to Donald Trump, be a man and do it yourself. Why would you want someone else to do it? Why don't you do it? Put your, you know, show everybody that you're about that life, but you're not.
Yeah.
What you're doing is you're throwing it out there in the ether for some psychopath to hear it, and then they do it for you. And then you'll just sit back, you know, in your little group of freaking draconians and shrug it off like, oh, well, you know, it was bound to happen, but you caused it. You and the rest of your little goons caused it, but you won't do it yourself.
Yep, exactly. And here's another gem. Somebody tweeting out, it's weird because it seems like you fully understood what the term bloodbath meant about 24 hours ago. Personnel bloodbath at my alma mater. He's talking about ESPN. What a message, not a word of a veteran employee bloodbath caused by his mismanagement. This is not a political issue. We'll attend the annual NRA bloodbath convention starting tomorrow. Yeah. Because people understand hyperbole as long as it's, you know, not taken out of context, right?
Exactly.
They know how to use it. It's so crazy. Like, if you just look at his tweets, they're unhinged to begin with.
Well, he's unhinged. And if you're on X, I'm on X. I'm on every single social media platform out there. All these leftists, especially these actors, man, they're all unhinged. You know, all
I remember this video.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all unhinged. You just, you know, Meathead from All in the Family. He's unhinged. He said if Donald Trump gets elected, he's going to set himself on fire or something like that. I don't forget what he said, but hey, go sit down, Meathead. No one cares about you. And then what's that guy? The guy from Star Trek, the Asian guy. He's another one.
George Takei.
George Takei. He's another one who's unhinged. Go sit down, you freaking dinosaur. No one cares about you guys anymore. You're irrelevant. You haven't been in a movie or anything for freaking a decades. No one cares. No one cares about you, Meathead. Go
Here's
sit
another
down
one of
somewhere.
those. Hey, did you see? I don't know if we were about to head out of here, but like one other thing we can cover real quick. Did you see the video of the illegal criminal aliens busting through the Texas National Guard?
Yes. And
here's good old Joe Scarborough. Guess who he blames for that?
Trump, of course.
If I were a Democrat running for office, I would do this. I would be carrying this around all day. Look at what the Republicans are doing to you. Look what Donald Trump said.
It's our fault.
Donald Trump said, and by the way, this is for you at home.
Okay,
so
listen.
The at-home camera, TJ.
Yeah.
Thank you. God
listen to him.
So good at this. And you think you just started last week. So I'm joking, TJ. So, TJ, can I get a TJ cam? I hope TJ's in.
Not yet. Not this second.
Okay, good.
Wow.
Okay, good.
He's not feeling pretty.
He's in his underwear, right? He's in his underwear at home. He got one of those things at home. I was afraid I was like picking on a director that mattered, but no, TJ's there. So TJ's been with us for 20 years, by the way. He's family. But I
Can't get rid of him.
I would carry this around because see this onslaught headline? The only thing the Post didn't tell you is Donald Trump said, blame me for this. Donald Trump said, kill the bill and blame me for everything that happens after this point. Donald Trump said, blame me.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say like, most people, like, even if Donald Trump did that, yeah, it's more politically beneficial for that bill not to pass. Okay, sure, we can go that way. But what was in the bill wouldn't have done anything to fix this in the first place.
Exactly.
It was a bill loaded with money for Ukraine and Israel, and then legalizing the illegal crossing of migrants into the United States by 9,000 people a day.
That's right.
before they shut down the border. A day. We're talking 9,000 people a day before they will actually step in and do anything. How is that going to secure the border?
Yeah, but it's talking heads like this jackboot right here that they thrive. They target the uninformed, like we've said before.
Yeah.
That's their target audience. They're targeting the uninformed. The informed people know he's full of crap. We know it. He's a liar. If you read the bill, if you understood the bill had nothing to do with border security.
Yeah.
It had all this different funding, but that's all we care about is the border. Give us one bill. One bill, that's all we want to see. One bill, a border bill. We don't want to see none of this other crap in here about Ukraine and Israel and Palestine and whoever.
Mhm.
We just want to see what you're going to do for the border and how much money we need to secure it. Or
So
help.
here's the video or a clip of what happened to them. Also, I want to point out something really interesting. When you look at all these people, who are they? Like, just question yourself. Why is it that there are a large group of military-age males, because majority of those are males, young men trying to enter the United States, young men of military age, attacking the border? Just want to put that out. Just find that interesting.
And I'm trying to now I want you to notice something. Pause it. Go back a little bit. Back up just a little bit right before they came through. Now look on the opposite side. Stop.
Which side?
The opposite side behind the immigrant.
These ones?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Move that guy.
Okay.
Yeah, go. There it is.
Right
now,
there? Yeah.
Now look which way the immigrants are facing. Now look behind them. How is that even possible? So you have
because they already broke through the first barrier. Is what I'm thinking.
They're just standing there. They're just going to sit there and watch the show. Look, they just walk around nonchalant like nothing's happened. Like
there's nothing they can do. Like, what are they supposed to do? They can't use force against them.
There is no type of urgency. Look, they're just back there strolling around like, oh yeah, To me, it looks staged. To me, it looks like an act. Personally.
I don't think it is.
Like. Well,
I don't think it is.
I think it's an act. I think it's all staged right there. It just look, they're just.
Because that's the actual barrier, is what I'm thinking.
No, I don't know, man. My bull crap meter is on, and for some reason we've done exercises and training events like this to where we're dealing with crowds and we're doing all this stuff.
Yeah,
and it just seems,
but
to me, it seems like they're acting. To me,
somebody was mentioning that's probably Border Patrol back there. That's why they don't give a shit. It's because that's Border Patrol back there. And the Texas National Guards are the actual ones that are giving a shit.
Okay,
so like I can see that. That's a Border Patrol truck. So that's what I'm assuming.
Yeah. So if they're in this part of the gate, where do they enter at?
They entered at the Bolyard fencing. So they enter through here, and that's just the first and secondary lines to the border. Right?
Okay, so you're telling me, I don't know, I got a little time in the military, almost 22 years. You're telling me if there's a breach in security at the first secured spot, you're going to let them get all the way up to that second part? Because that's not just border patrol back there. Those are actually
I know, but here's the thing is, like, as well as I do that the ROEs probably only allow them to do certain things. That's probably what it comes down to, is that they have such restrictive ROEs that they can't do anything about
that's
it.
What
literally.
That's what they tell us. We don't know that for sure on the ground.
Well, we don't know what the Texas National Guard ROEs are. I mean, if I still knew anybody in there, I would call and ask, but
we would have to.
I don't know anybody that's still there.
But we would have to be on the ground to actually know. But what I'm saying is it looks, oh no, man, it just does not look right. I mean, if I saw a bunch of guys, look, it makes no sense to me. All right, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4 soldiers standing there. This guy's just nonchalant, just standing there, just like up, beat up. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in front of all these guys. These guys just got their arms up, screaming and yelling, and all of a sudden they just decide to bum rush the gate, and these guys move out the way. It makes
They don't
no
just move out of the way. They get pushed out of the way and just run past.
Okay,
because like
now-
you had
now
that
look.
one guy that break through,
Now look. It makes
and
no
then they
sense.
push through.
Yeah, just let them go. Look at this guy. We're just going. Just go ahead, guys.
Like I said, I don't think they actually have any way of actually doing anything about it. Because like I can't imagine the kind of rules that were set in place. You're not allowed to smack them. You're not supposed to hit them. You're not supposed to butt them with the gun. Like, because I know in Afghanistan, or like if we had an issue like that at a gate somewhere, somebody's getting hit with a butt stock.
No, somebody's getting smoked. That's exactly.
Yeah. Like, okay. And the extreme case example, somebody's getting smoked, and the easiest example is getting hit in the nose with a butt stock. That's what's happening.
Nah, I don't know what your ROE was. That wasn't ours. But
No, I'm just saying, like, that's probably what would have happened if it was anywhere else but the United States border.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, you see it one way, I see it the other. I see it as it looks staged to me. It looks fake. I don't
Yeah.
know, man. For me, it does. Why would they bust through this and then get to the gate knowing that they're not going to get through the gate? Knowing that they're not going to get through, they just charge the gate like, oh.
They know once they get through, they're good, because there's nothing the National Guard can do with it at that point.
They're not getting through that big gate. That's why they stop. That's what I'm saying. They got through this, but then they have to stop when they get to the main gate. So why would they even attempt to come that way when there's other points within that whole border that they can get through? There's points. They know this. Why were the cameras there at this moment during this incident, at this little break in the gate to where they couldn't even get all the way through? That's why I'm saying it's staged. I don't know. That's just me. Maybe people
I
are
wonder
seeing it-
if this is another angle of the same video. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
I
saw
don't
it
know.
from
That's
that
what I'm
section.
saying. I'm just saying
Here.
it just something looks off. It looks staged to me.
All right, so I guess this is the other side from the other side of the river. That's what I'm thinking, because it looks similar.
Yeah, okay. I can see them getting through that first obstacle. I can kind of see that. They've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, that looks exactly like what's going on there. So they broke through
Yeah, they got through that.
the first line. Yeah,
But
that's
it looks
that's
like
the
there
exact
was,
same.
there was already people there before.
There's the vehicles right there. So that's the backside angle of it.
But you can see, like, okay, we're looking
Because what I'm thinking this is like, this is the Texas National Guard kind of barrier, and this is kind of where Border Patrol had been staging people, because I can see the portage on there. So they were processing people in this central area before going into the backside, is what I'm thinking. So like this was Border Patrol section, which is why they don't give a shit, and then that's the actual border right there.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I'm standing by what I see. But yeah, I can see your way too. But I'm standing by what I see. I think it's staged. I don't know, America. Tell us what you think. Tell us, did that look fishy? I don't know. Something just didn't sit right with me. You know, my intuition is telling me like something's not right. You know, based off how these people, these elitists, the media, and all these people like to play things out, I can see them staging something like this. Like this, that was a training exercise, and we've been to many training exercises where the actors dress like the locals. They look like the locals.
Yeah,
they act like the locals, and you know, they try to make it as realistic as possible. So what I'm saying is that could have just been some training for those National Guard guys. You know, just get them trained on crowd control and all that stuff. And that way, you know, when they get to the gate, you just hear the guy just say, "Get back." Of course they're going to get back. They can't go any further, dude. You know, that's why
that's not what the Texas National Guard would do. I mean, I was in the Texas National Guard. I know the training that they go through. Like, no, that's not something they would do. They would do it at one of the bases that they have, or they would do it at their home armory. That's where they would do that type of training, because I used to do operational forces for them too. Like I've done that in the training. There's no way they would do that at the border. That's stupid.
And so we think, we don't know. We don't
Just
know.
saying, in my
now,
personal opinion, that would be stupid.
right now in 2024, we don't know if that's true. We don't know. We can assume that's not what they would do, but we truly don't know until we're there. I'm just looking at it saying it looks staged. I've done many training exercises, and that looks like something that we would do training up for something. We've done training in Kosovo like that in sector. We didn't always do it at our base. We've done it like that.
Okay.
So I'm just saying it, to me, it looked like training to me.
But
that's what it looked like.
From my experience, that's not something you would do unless you had complete control of the area. That's not something that seems feasible, because like that would be like doing, I don't know. It would be doing training, downrange. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, there's to do it in a fob or do it behind, closed doors kind of situation. Yeah, sure. But to do it actually on the line, that doesn't seem right.
Well, a lot of things don't seem right in the world we
That's
live
true.
in, but we're going to cut it off right now. Thank you, America, again, for joining us. I know we started off a little solo here.
Yeah.
Times got mixed up. People got mixed up. Things happen. It's the world we live in. But thank you for joining us. We're going to be back Monday with the Savage Patriots, Tuesday with the Hooch, and so on and so on. Same time, same bat channel. We're going to keep doing what we do. Marlon should be back, I think, next week. So
that's good.
And wish Jay well. I know he's feeling a little bit under the weather right now. He's not feeling well. Yeah. So wish Jay well. Anything before we rock out of here, Coy?
That's it. Thanks for hanging on and listening to Michael monologue for a little bit. Sorry I was late. That was my fault.
I was trying.
It happens, Larry. Like I don't know.
I was trying to entertain. It was hard because I was coming off the top of my head, and I didn't want to take away from the topic because I was hoping somebody would.
No, it's true, but it's also the reason why the Hooch hasn't been on this last week is because I've been dealing with trying to get my sleep under control and to have energy again, because it takes a lot of energy to get in front of the camera every single day. So
it does.
I know it seems easy, but it really isn't. You have to keep a high energy the entire time.
Yep.
And it's rough, especially if you're a low energy person at the moment. Anyway, enough excuses for me. Enough excuses for me.
All right, America. Thank you for joining. And we're out. I love you. See you on the flip.
See you next time.
War.